Hey everybody, on the road with Big Al here. I thought I'd try to do something different here, make some smaller videos, go through my day. I'll try to do them trip by trip, and then just edit them together for a long video. I kind of started doing this, I really didn't know how to edit, so I would just, film something non-stop, but I'm kind of getting this figured out. I got a laptop. I normally keep it at home, but I want to start bringing it on my road so I can kind of edit these videos together. But this morning I'm sitting in, I believe it's Springville, Utah, just outside of Salt Lake City. I got a load of insulation I picked up in McPherson, Kansas, and I'm delivering it to Orem, Utah, which I'm 11 miles away right now. It delivers at 10. Then this morning I was looking for my next load. Rates out of here don't pay the best. I got over 3 miles, $3 to the mile coming out here. It looks like getting $2 to the mile, getting anywhere out of here is kind of what I'm going to be looking at. I put a couple bids in, try to get close to home. There was two picks. I usually don't like doing that, but it was taking me pretty close to home. So I put a bid in. The 30-day average was $2,400. For the second pick, I like to get paid $100. If you're adding stops, or if you're adding pickups or you're adding deliveries, I try to add $100 per added stop. I put in a bid of $2,600, which I think was fair. They came back and put in an offer of $2,000, and then this morning tried to bid on a load from Salt Lake City to Cedar Rapids, Iowa. I think it's about 1,100, almost 1,200 miles. I put in a bid. I tried to get it for $2,600. The 30-day average is almost $2,600. It doesn't look like I'm going to get that. Both loads are either the load to Iowa was cardboard or recycled paper, and I believe both loads are recycled paper, which there's no money into that. They're just whatever they're paid to recycle, so they try to get the shipping as cheap as possible. Sometimes if you know what you're hauling, sometimes you can get a better rate, because if you're hauling flat screen TVs, somebody's making some money off of that, and I might be willing to pay a little, willing or need to pay a little bit more to get it shipped. But when you're hauling kind of recycled paper or cardboard or something like that, there's just no money in it, and they just can't pay. They literally can't pay. So I'm going to try to be a little more picky. I don't need to go anywhere. I'd like to go somewhere east and get somewhat closer to home, but I don't need to go anywhere particular. So I'm going to try to get the best rate I can. I'll probably go deliver this load in a little bit, and then maybe when I'm sitting there, go look at the load boards again and go through the load boards and see what I can find. Thank you. I'll talk to you later. Spent the night at a Flying J outside of Salt Lake City, Utah. Pretty cool view in the morning. All right, finally getting unloaded here. I did finally get a load, pick it up. Picking up in Salt Lake City, 42 miles from here. Going from Salt Lake City to Bowling Green, Kentucky. It was over 1,600 miles. I'm going to get $3,400 for it, so a little over $2 a mile. That's about it. Made it to the shipper. It was 12:30. I thought my appointment was 1, so I thought I was going to, kind of hit this just perfect. They told me appointments at 2. They gave me a dock. They said don't get in a hurry. So hopefully they get me loaded pretty quickly, and this goes pretty smooth. All right, got loaded. Wasn't too bad. Got in at 12:30, in at 2:18. Some of it was kind of my problem. I didn't realize I gave them some paperwork, and then I figured they would bring it out. They left it in the trailer, so I didn't know I was loaded there for a while. But they got me loaded. Got 1,619 miles to go. See you on the road. Well, I guess not so fast. I was they weighed it, and I was over gross by 220 pounds. First time that's ever happened since I've been driving on my own authority. I'm gonna have to go back, and we'll have to I don't know. They'll have to take some off, and I don't know if they'll have to rework it or not. The back axle the back tandem was really heavy too. We'll see what they do. We'll see how the weights go. See if we're any better off. There, I don't know if you can see it. 12,000 even on the steer. 11,640. $33,680. That's about as close as I can get that one. Go. $33,180. We're good. Stopped at a little America. Got fuel. DEF. It's a mud flap stop. So I'm all fueled up, topped off the DF, ready to rock and roll. All right, I picked up a load in Salt Lake City yesterday. Got out about 3:30, 4 o'clock. I was able to make it down to at about a little over 1,600 miles to go. I got it down to 1316, made it to Sinclair, Wyoming. We're going to have a little bit of change of plans. I was texting with my dad yesterday, or I actually talked up to my dad on the phone, and my dad's a farmer, kind of semi-retired, and he rides with me sometime. I've got him all set up to ride. He's got a CDL, so he can drive too. He said he'd go with me, so I'm gonna come through home, spend the night at home, and two of us will head on down to Bowling Green, Kentucky. So that's kind of where we're at. See you down the road. Driving between Laramie, Wyoming, and Rawlins, Wyoming here. This is like the spot where I was driving from Warner, and I stopped and ate breakfast or dinner at the Petro in Laramie, Wyoming, and I kind of heard some people talking about like how bad the weather was the night before, and I really didn't think much about it. It was a pretty decent day. It wasn't really snowing. Got back out on the road, and I don't know. It might have been snowing a little bit, but it really wasn't bad when you got up in the mountains. But the thing was, like, if you've ever been through here, the wind can be so, like, the wind was just absolutely horrible, and the side wind, and it was blowing snow, and you literally could not see a thing. And as I was coming through here, like thing I could see, like I just like got behind the truck and followed the truck in front of me. And as you're coming down the road, we were going about probably about 5 miles an hour. That's about all the fastest we could go. You'd come up on spots where they just had pushed trucks that had wrecked or whatever. Like they'd taken a bulldozer and just pushed them off the side of the road to keep the road open. It was kind of the craziest. Like there was a spot where there was probably 15, 20 semis just pushed off into the ditch and into a pile, like wrecked semis, pushed off into the pile. And we're going 5 miles an hour. You can't hardly see. I'm literally just following the truck in front of me. If that truck goes off into the ditch, I'm following that truck into the ditch, like basically. And it was kind of scary, like kind of scary. I didn't want to pull off the road, and because like there were no like clear spots to pull off for a truck, like pull off on a off ramp and park and wait for the road to get better, because like the off ramps weren't cleared off either, and you get caught in a snowbank or something and you can't get out, and then you're totally screwed. I called the 511 number, and it was they give road conditions in like Wyoming. I think most states have it. I'll use the 511 number in like Colorado a lot of times to see if there's any like chain restrictions and stuff when you're going through Colorado. So I called the 511 number, and it was saying it was cleared at a certain mile marker, which was about only about 13 or 14 miles away. That the wind wasn't blowing and the roads were clear. So I was kind of like, well, if I keep going, I get to that. If this is right, I get to that road marker. It should be fine. I just kept following 5-10 mile an hour. Finally, we get to that area, and the roads were clear. The wind wasn't blowing like it was. Snow wasn't drifting. It was one of the craziest, and like as a truck driver, one of the scariest times I've ever had to deal with. If you ever come through this area, I-80 between Rawlins, Wyoming, and Laramie, Wyoming, sometimes the highest winds I've ever had to deal with. This area can just be crazy. All right, made it home last night. Drove 630 miles to get home to Clifton, Kansas. Woke up this morning, no electricity. Got 718 miles to go today to get to Bowling Green, Kentucky. Want to have 2 drivers. Shouldn't be a problem. Here's my partner in crime.
What?
So, get on down the road. See you down the road. Stopping here at Junction City to get fuel. It's a mud flap stop, Sapp Brothers, off of I-70. One of the better stops coming through Kansas on I-70 to get fuel. Nice truck stop. It's got an A&W root beer. Place to eat in it. This is one of the places I always get fuel coming through here, because they've got one of the better prices on fuel on mud flap here on I-70 coming through Kansas. All right, we got to Bowling Green last night about 9:30. When I booked this load, it was supposed to be a Wednesday delivery. I changed it to Thursday because it was 1,600 miles. They were supposed to send me a new rate com with a different delivery. I never got it, so I didn't know delivery time. I got here, and they're saying 11 o'clock delivery. I got here about 8. It's about 8:30 now, so I'm gonna have to wait till 11 to get unloaded. Booked my next load to Portland, Tennessee, which is 30 miles away. Which luckily they're saying they're flexible, and as long as I get there by 2:30, 3 o'clock, they'll be able to unload me. So hopefully the load from Portland, Tennessee is the stock to Kansas. Is supposed to get me home. Hopefully we can get all this done. See you down the road. Hey, they finally got me into a dock about 11 in the morning. Got me out about 1:30. I booked another load through Bat Logistics, getting me home. That one picked up in Portland, Tennessee. Need to be there at before 2:30. So I need to get going. I didn't think this would take all morning or all day, but basically in at 8:30 and out at 1:30. Kind of the life of trucking. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.